Hello everybody and happy Sunday. We started off our Beaver Sunday Scattered service this morning by watching some clips from the movie Sliding Doors. It's a movie about two completely different paths that a life could take depending on whether or not Gwyneth Paltrow catches the train right at the start of the movie, and it inspired some of us to share some of our own sliding doors stories. And even if you were watching this morning, this is the director's cut. There's a few extra little stories in here, so stay tuned.
If my A-level results would have been better, I would have ended up going to my first choice university and not my second choice, which was Queen's University to study maths. And then I wouldn't have met Ruth McKeown, who is now Ruth Jardine and has been my wife for 19 blissful years.
If I hadn't taken the risk to start a conversation with a girl standing on her own back in September 2000 on our first day of university, I wouldn't have made a friend for life and a girl who became my bridesmaid and I hers.
I had just finished one teaching job and came here to the rectory at Beaver one night for a meeting and got chatting to a very young Emma Smith and a very young baby Tom. Emma was hoping to go back to school to do a job share instead of being a full-time teacher. The job was advertised, I applied and I got the job. And 17 very happy years later, isn't that right, Emma? We are still working together. I often wonder, what if we hadn't met that night?
If I hadn't played rugby, life would be different. I would have a straight nose and still have all of my teeth.
If I hadn't done CISM in Newton Breda 20 years ago, in the year 2000, I wouldn't have met a whole lot of people who have become really significant to my life since. They are godparents to my children. They are some of the oldest, best, most valued friends that I have. I wouldn't have met my friend Greg, who in turn introduced me to Pete, who in turn introduced me to Beaver. So that 1 week in July 20 years ago had a huge effect on the rest of my life.
Almost exactly 28 years ago, June 1992, I was invited to a youth barbecue and I didn't want to go. I was a kind of a grumpy teenager, but my mum suggested that I do, and if I hadn't gone to that barbecue, I never would have met Chris and my life would look very different. So it's really strange to think, what if I had said no that day?
So I love all of those stories, especially the last one, which worked out really, really well for me. And all of those, I think, are those kind of what ifs where you're just so full of thankfulness that things worked out the way they did. We also do know that things don't always go quite so smoothly. Things don't always work out, and it's quite easy for what if to slide into if only when we look at the things, the turning points, the sliding doors where things seem to go wrong. And so I want to finish tonight as we light our candle with one of the songs that we sang this morning, which is about that very thing. There are days when the sun shines, days when things go right. There are days in the desert place where things do not seem to be going right at all, but God's presence and power and love are with us every single step of those days as well. Blessed be the name of the Lord.